So much to do, so little time. So little time, that's how it sometimes feels like, you know? I'm sure you guys can relate to this. You've had an awesome night and you're motivated, you're pumped up for the next day. You're gonna get up, you're gonna crush it. But then it seems like, you know, the day goes on and you didn't get on it soon enough. You didn't have that momentum from the morning. Maybe you slacked off, maybe you kind of felt like you didn't have enough discipline. And so the day passes and you look back and like, all right, I'll do it tomorrow. And so we just procrastinate, right? It's the procrastination is the great enemy of success. So guys, I want to talk to you about how do we get on it? How do we do the stuff to actually see progress? You know, and life is a little weird. When you have a job that you go to and you're clocking in, well, you kind of know exactly what you have to do. College is not so certain. I mean, you have multiple classes and you have your studies and the homework that you're given that you got to complete. So you sort of know what to do, but maybe you're at a position in your life where you want to start experimenting with other things, and maybe you like to write and so you want to start a blog, or maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, or maybe, you know, you're just getting into, I don't know, selling or flipping houses. You're doing some out of the ordinary stuff. Well, you know, a common trap, I believe, in self-development is to think that you always need to have discipline. Like you gotta be disciplined to the point where your willpower, you know, if you gotta say no to the Oreos, you gotta wake up at the right time every day. You gotta always work out. You gotta make sure that you read at least 50 pages a day. You can no-fap. You know, you're going on no-fap for 90 days. And then when you fail, it's like, fuck, I messed up. My discipline isn't good enough. And so I fell into that trap for a little while, guys. Like I was always worried about my discipline, and I was worried about developing habits that were developing me. But what I noticed is years passed by, it was like I had all these good habits, but that's all they were. The return, it gave me a good life. It made me healthy. It made me have more energy. It made me experience more gratitude. And it put me in the right mindset. I'm positive. But I realized that it's not just about having discipline in every single area. You want to have selective discipline into doing the things that actually matter. And so that's what we got to look at, because you'll notice you got some stuff to do. Now, your brain is looking at everything. What is my to-do list? We talked about the one thing. And so what you need to ask yourself is, well, what's the one thing that I'm waking up and I'm preparing for, and I've done my morning routine? All right, we're going to have a video about 3 things to do in the morning just to begin to prime your body so that you can work. Guys, work is going to be our entire life. The war goes on. It's just little battles that we're always fighting. That's what we're made to do, you know. A lot of people say, I want to go on vacation. Well, you can only go on vacation for so long, drinking martinis before you get bored, and then it's time to get back to work. You know, we want to be in the flow of things. We're made for this, man. We're made to do some stuff. And so you find your one thing, and you use that discipline to jump in and complete that one thing. This is very important, because once you find that thing, everything else kind of takes a back seat. Everything else can wait. You do your good habits, you develop it, but it's so that you have the energy and the focus to get in there and get your hands on it, to start to shape the thing that you want to build. All right? And look, willpower is finite. You're going to run out. This is why first thing in the morning, you want to put the hardest things first. All right? You want to, if that's getting your ass to the gym, put the gym first thing in the morning. All right? If that's you writing, well, maybe you get up and you go for a walk and you have yourself a cup of coffee, and maybe you're listening to some trance music. Maybe that gets you in the mood. And then you sit. All right? Then you sit down and you do that thing, because you know that it's going to pay off more than everything else. Everyone else, most people, seem like they have so many activities. You know, people that are always busy. They always got something going on. But then when you look at their life, their physique, their financial situation, they're always the same. There's like no growth there. Well, it's because they've been doing the same things. They haven't really been focusing on one thing that's going to propel them up, that's going to make them go forward. You know, so I remember this very cool book called The War of Art. Not The Art of War by Sun Tzu, but The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he said something that stood out to me so well. It's like, being a writer, the hardest part isn't the writing process. He's like, I know how to write. Once I start writing, the ideas flow. The muse shows up. The magic kicks in, you know? The hardest part is sitting down. That's it, guys. It's sitting down. So what is this sitting down in your life? Getting down to work. Getting down and dirty. You know, this is your studies. This is whatever. How hard is it to just sit down and focus on doing something for some time? And that leads us to time blocking. All right, I know we're jumping all over, but these concepts are very important. A time block is simply a start time and an end time, say an hour. This is your hour time block. You can make it 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Usually after 4 hours, though, the willpower is kind of drained. All right, so if you think about when you first wake up, 4 hours of random activity, flurries of activity, have already drained you. You've made breakfast. You've already talked to random people. If you got to work, you're going to work. You know, you want to be able to time block, even if it's an hour a day. Imagine if you just did an hour of day. You stack that up, man. You snowballed effect your results. An hour a day. See, people don't like to think about that. People think an hour a day, that's not work. You listen to Gary Vee and Grant Cardone and all these people hustle, 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 all these posts on Instagram, grind, grind, grind until you're fucking worn out, burn the midnight oil. Well, that's good and all. But what if you just could, and then you think like this, and you end up not doing any work. Imagine if you did 1 hour a day. Imagine if you did 30 minutes a day and you just compounded that throughout the year. You're going to see return. All right, so it's about figuring out that one thing, getting motivation enough through your habits, through, using the discipline to sit that ass down, bro, and do the work. Knock out that one thing. All right, the willpower runs out quick. And so, like I said, use that willpower, since it's finite, to get started on what it is that you need to do. And again, we have to ask ourselves on a daily basis. We have to refine it. What is my one thing? What am I going to do today that makes everything else easier or unnecessary? You ask yourself that question as the days go by. You refine that. And you keep using these things that you just learned, these concepts of motivation, discipline, time blocking, and you hammer away at it. It takes time. All right, guys, it takes a lot of time to actually build your empire. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? You know this quote. Any big results that you're going to get in life are going to be probably years in the making. Brian Tracy has the law of 7. He studied hundreds of successful people, millionaires, and he said there's a common theme that when someone starts something, it takes about 7 years for it to see fruition, for it to start, going up that, start to go up that J curve. Guys, this is our life. Our life is on this trajectory, this J curve. All right, you start meditating. Well, it's pretty difficult. You're probably only going to hold your mind there for about 30 seconds until it runs off like a little puppy dog and wants to get scatterbrained again. This is why we have the power of discipline. This is why we have the power of our habits, our focus, to put in, to climb that. Because once it starts to climb, then we reach a peak, man. We reach that mastery peak. Same thing. Everything else starts out slow. Your physique, guys, if you're working out for a month and you're expecting massive change, it's not happening. I'm telling you. Every hard thing in life comes by consistency and dedication over and over. Get those reps in. Talking to girls. The social dynamics that we're touching on. You're climbing this this J curve. And let me tell you, right here is a period of suck. Prepare to suck. Prepare to go through muddy waters. Prepare to be bored. You know, boredom's okay. It lets you think. It's better to be bored than just to randomly go off on little tangents of social media browsing. Or, you know, you're getting called to hang out with friends. It's better to sometimes be by yourself to plan the next move. So this is what's moving us up this J curve. All right, so this is the suck. Embrace the suck. Embrace the suck. I don't know what else to tell you guys. A lot of people want to just instantly get better. The only thing that gets you better is the action in the suck period until you become above the average. Once you pass here, life is good. Life gets better. All right, but embrace it now and keep doing it one day at a time. Get the reps in. If you're not repping life out, you know, if you're not doing these things constantly, well, then you lose momentum. Part of what we need to be aware of is that our brains return to a state of just comfort where they're used to being at. All right? They're used to, we got to break out of that. So you got to actually prepare your brain to work, to know how to work, to know how to sit down. All right, you can start from the night before. You plan out the day, and then the morning routine that we're talking about down below, the next video, you do that to build the momentum so that you can work, not just flurries of activity and good habits. All right, that's not what, that everyone gets trapped there. You want to expand, you want to grow. Okay, very crucial concept here. I hope that you can use this. Embody it, all right? So that we blossom, dude. We got to go up. We got to stay up. And we got to break the comfort. So you'll notice that as you get a little bit more professional and you start climbing that curve, that you may have to push it a little bit harder than usual. When you start developing muscles, you'll notice that, well, you don't make gains as easy as you first did in the beginning. All right, it's sort of like an S curve now. It goes like this, sort of goes, you know, and then flattens out. You have your moment of growth, and then here it is. We want to kind of keep that going up, but that only happens when we continue to push ourselves. Right? If you've been doing the same thing, what's that quote? Doing the same thing over and over again without results is insanity. All right? I don't think it's insanity as much as I think it's comfort. We've reached a state of homeostasis, which we'll touch on in the next video. This homeostasis we have to break down by exposing ourselves to more stress. You'll notice that your body is a fantastic machine at adapting to stress. When you put new stress on it, it seems very difficult at first, but your body will adapt. I've been walking 15,000 steps every day, coming from just barely hitting 10,000. At first, that was difficult. An extra 2.5 miles, I believe it is. Now it's a piece of cake. Your body adapts. Just like progressive overload in the gym. Your body gets stronger, all right? And that's where we go and we break plateaus. That's when you wanna get even more lean and break sub 10% body fat. Maybe it calls for a little more intensity in your diet. Maybe a little bit more cardio sessions. Maybe you've just been doing regular cardio sessions, 15, 20 minutes. Maybe it's time to do high interval training cardio, right? High intensity interval training, where you're going in spurts, sprints, blasting it with little moments of toning it down and then back up, and you're just elevating your heart rate and your fat burning capacity. Maybe that's what it takes. All right? So this is the road to mastery. This is the long road, bros. You know, no one's gonna really push you forward because they haven't really met those heights. You got to be your own coach. All right, so come back, get refreshed, get rejuvenated, get motivated, and then go back into the fucking murky waters and let's get it. All right, so I want you guys to post about the new heights that you're taking in your life in the mastermind group. All right, that's what we're here for. That's what everyone's here for. Because look, it's not good enough to be motivated for a day and then take 3 days off. You can't just work out for 2 weeks and then take 3 days, 4 days, 5 days off. Not how it works. It's got to be a lifestyle. This work has to become a part of you. And that starts really with acceptance, with knowing, well, I'm here on earth and this is my time. I'm going to make something of it. I'm going to think big. I'm going big. Commit to greatness, bro. I want all of you guys to commit to this greatness and live big lives. All right? Let's get it. I'll see you guys soon.